think I'm live now, so hello and good afternoon to everyone that is watching and the jury members and the startups that are going to pitch now. My name is Markus Dietrich and I'm an investment analyst at Hadian Ventures, and I will be your moderator for today's pitching session at this giant health.
Beyond sports, there's two key things that we're looking at. Yes, hearing impairments, and there is a very interesting application for our technology on large sites, so logistics, manufacturing, agriculture. But the other one is anybody who suffers from autism. What we've discovered is that the headset, when worn by someone with autism, are far more comfortable listening, hearing instructions, and being guided. So that's actually a research project that we are undertaking with Loughborough University later on this year, which is going to be hugely exciting. And hopefully that research will pave the way for a lot more participation and inclusiveness around sport and work for those with either hearing or learning challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. We would have time for another question if someone wants to come up.
Look, thank you very much, and we'll get in contact through Giant Health. But thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the startups presenting to you this afternoon. Thank you from the UK.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Markus.
You too. Yes, then we will move on straight to the next company, Bloom Health, which aims to accelerate the digitalization and innovation in the healthcare system, something that is, of course, a very hot topic these days. And they want to help with their broad experience in idea stage building and executing to basically bring innovative projects forward. How they plan to do that exactly, we will now learn from the founder, Michael Watts.
Brilliant. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining today. And I'll get cracking now. Cool. So amid the COVID-19 pandemic, there's never been a better time for clinical innovation. Yet the barriers still remain. Grant funding is scarce and thus difficult to win. Technical co-founders are few and far between, and procurement sits at the summit of mountains. We are Bloom Health, and we are here to change that. I'm Dr. Mike Watts, a medical doctor turned clinical entrepreneur and innovator. And as a trio startup with my tech co-founders feeling the idea to reality struggle, we turned our focus to supporting SMEs launching their products and large organizations transforming to their clicks and mortar businesses, finally filling the world with high quality, high impact software solutions. By turning our focus away from a single product that was very much a non-priority during COVID and meeting needs that healthcare organizations required to keep providing value to their patients, we were able to ideate, build and sell 2 COVID products within 6 months of inception, which got us thinking. If we nurture these collaborations and we're flexible to the needs of our collaborators, supporting them from idea to reality and enable their projects through all the barriers I've mentioned previously, then this is how we meet our desire to build health software that is 3 things: patient-centric, scalable, and impactful. Our business model is one of simplicity and flexibility, managing in each of our projects in isolation with dedicated teams, nursing the collaborations based on needs. We were only able to do this because of our team. We realized that by investing in our key asset, we could not only work on our own innovations, but provide close to home support to the organizations at the same time. We have access to a talent pool of developers with over 100 years of experience, and by keeping our UK-based workforce at over 50% software engineers, we aim to always stay ahead of the curve when considering resource. Tie that in with our experience at the core of our organization within the healthcare systems, and the value that you can truly build from such a team is astounding. Collaborators often come to us telling us what they and their users want. We then get our team of designers and innovators to deep dive into their idea to realize what they and their users need. By using research-driven decision-making and reusable design strategies, we can iterate with our collaborators to ensure that their build is the most efficient but most impactful solution possible. Finally, this is where the magic happens. Our secret sauce software architecture allows us to take a pyramid approach, giving collaborators a version of their software which is robust and secure, but in a timescale that is highly competitive. Then we provide a support system to scale the service based on the needs of each collaborator. So now you know what's important to us. Let's focus on what's important to you, the patient. We couldn't do what we do without practicing what we preach. So in our Bloom Lab, you will see patient-centric, scalable, and impactful health software solutions. This project took a piece of research from the University of Liverpool, whereby corneal topography should no longer require a specialist and a £50,000 piece of kit. Yes, with our software and their smart device, anyone can now read the surface of the eye with a smartphone, allowing rural parts of India and Nepal to access the care they deserve. And this is currently in clinical trial phase. Where Bloom's values are missing, we fill them, whether it be a thought leader with a solution for an unmet need or a corporate organization requiring digital transformation, we mold to the needs of the collaborator. Here is our most recent collaboration with AgilePath, who, with our support, are going to revolutionize the way that pathology requests and tests are processed. It's patient-centric, scalable, and impactful. Finally, having felt the startup struggle ourselves, we could not ignore the need for truly pro bono support in medtech. We decided to set up the Bloom Propagator in March of this year, whereby 3 solo entrepreneurs joined us to go through the design phase of their solution, taking them to a point where they could better define the opportunity to funders or better define the benefits to patients through visual designs and prototyping. We hope to run this again in the coming months, and you can register your interest with us at any time. So Bloom is essentially the offspring of an innovation hub, a software development company, and a medtech accelerator. And as we continue to grow, we hope that we can support those around us to do the same. Thank you.
I would open the floor for questions. Can you maybe explain a bit more on your business model and who is usually the customer coming to you?
Yeah, no problem, Marcus. So essentially, we are B2B. So we're supporting organizations that require not only software development, but specifically, health software, because our USP really is that we allow flexible collaboration. So, we consider the needs of the client and also the age and size of the business, which allows us to support startups through their earlier phases, getting their idea to a position where they can actually, raise further funds or prove the concept. But also we support large corporate organizations as well. So really our client is anyone and everyone that requires software, which is, more and more people at the moment. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of barriers in the way. So we're really here to break down those barriers because we've felt it, we've been there, we've done that. And so, yeah, our customer is everyone requiring health tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how's the business model? Like, is it just project-based payment or?
Yeah, so it's flexible. So yeah, it's flexible. We do enjoy longer term collaborations. So we like to get stuck in from the start and progress long term. So that could be project based. It could be service based. So we could be remunerated based on the use of the product as opposed to actually having large upfront fees. We can consider other forms of remuneration other than cash. So yeah, it's truly flexible. The main thing for us is, or for the client, is that we build things in isolated forms. So they have a dedicated team that supports them through that, but they also have access to our health tech network, the NHS, the healthcare system that I'm involved in, and also some medical insight as well because of our clinician at the core structure that we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and how is then the long-term follow-up after you have basically concluded the project, because software usually needs, let's say, service and maintenance? Yeah.
So every project comes with a support contract. So there'll be ongoing support that we would provide throughout the lifetime of the project as well, based on the needs of the collaborator. If they want to progress on to further phases at a later point in time, of course that's exciting for us. But if they just want to maintain the status quo and just ensure that their software is robust, secure, and all of these things, then of course the service and maintenance comes as standard with that as well. So that remains dedicated to the client.
Yeah, then I think that I have not seen any more questions incoming.
Perfect.
I will thank you for presenting, and we will then move on to the next company. And if you're more interested, you can reach out to Michael, of course.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yes, the next startup for this session is Life, and they want to help you to balance your physical, mental, and social health and improve your general well-being with, as they say, curated and personalized content. how this exactly works will be explained to you now by the founder, Edward Lynch, and I will pass the stage to you.
Thank you, Marcus. Let me just share my screen. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Ed. I'm one of the co-founders of Life. We're a team of doctors and health tech experts trying to change the way people approach their health fundamentally. And we're doing this by creating the very first online health and wellbeing social platform in the world. Let me first tell you a little bit about the problem. So in the UK and actually mostly across Europe, we focus on our health from a negative health standpoint. So what does this mean? Well, what we do typically is we wait for something to go wrong and then we try and fix it. This has got really poor outcomes for the individual. It's really expensive, and it's not a win-win for either party. And the future of health and the future of healthcare is that we actually approach our health from a positive health paradigm and make that shift from just not waiting for something to go wrong, but actually proactively looking after our health. So what current solutions are there? Well, the market is quite saturated with many online solutions to actually try and look after your health. At the bottom there, you've got MindBody if you want to book fitness classes. You've got Peloton there if you want to use at-home fitness products. Evergreen Health if you want to track well-being. MyFitnessPal for calories. Instagram for engaging with your local health community. GlowFox. There's Google Maps. You might want to search Google for health problems. You might download like the Headspace app or Calm. You might be scrolling through trying to find something to eat. Honestly, it's just so exhausting. Look how many apps you have to use to actually live a complete healthy lifestyle. It's especially considering that the average user downloads 0 apps per month. It's just not a sustainable or feasible way of engaging with your healthy life. And that is why we created Life. So Life is the very first complete online social health tool that you can download. So what we do is we take your physical health high street, if you imagine everything possible that you can do around you, which is healthy. We then vet those things as doctors. We check that they are genuinely healthy, and then we put them into the digital realm of Life for you to engage with. So some of the features. If you have a look on the left there, you've got highly personalized content. So we've built in algorithms for you to engage with the things around you. And if we notice that you're doing too much fitness, say, we can push you into other healthy activities outside of that realm, which you wouldn't otherwise know without the app. It's highly geolocated. We're on to the second one there. You can see everything around you on a map. You can book classes, you can find products and services, you can leave reviews, you can get discounts. It's a whole ecosystem and social platform to engage with your healthy services and products around you. And this works because we've built on the 3 biggest trends of the last 100 years. The first one being convenience. We want things faster, we want things now. And because we've put everything into one space, we know our users love the convenience factor of the app. The personalized content is something else which people love. We've moved from a services industry into an experiences industry. People want experiences now rather than just services. And we do that through the algorithms that we've built into the platform. And finally, what is the one biggest thing that pulls you back to any app? It's the social aspect. Look at any of the biggest apps in the world. They all have social features. Think YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. These are the biggest apps in the world for a reason. And that is exactly what we've incorporated into Life. Okay, now I want you to put your corporate hats on. So this is one of our retailers who contributes to this health society. The company's called Yogacita, and it's run by a lady called Lucita. Now, she actually has similar issues to our end users, whereby she's having to use all of these different platforms to actually, get her content out there, to put her classes out there, to engage with her target market. But it's very time consuming. And this is how much a month she spends on across these platforms. We solved all of these issues for Yogacita by giving her the one-stop shop to do all of the activities that she needs and actually push target audiences to her. She can get data downloads. She can see what people have engaged with a brand. You know, we've provided all of the solutions that she requires in one space at a much cheaper price. She absolutely loves the platform, and that is why already we have 15,000 people ready waiting to use the app, but we're in testing phases now. Our scaling plan is city to city, and we get retailers within 8 of these areas. So you can see there's 8 categories there. Top right is fitness, top left is contributing to others in the blue. These are 8 medically proven areas which are, you know, they're proven to improve your health, and there's a lot of research which has gone into this. And we acquire retailers in each of those 8 areas. The market is vast. The wellbeing market in England alone is worth 13 billion, raising at 19% per year. And our closest competitor is Glowfox. They actually own a 0.1% share of the market, and last year they turned over 18.4 million. Since their conception in 2014, they've raised nearly 33 million. So you can see already the sheer scope of the market, and we actually think their solution isn't very user-friendly. I urge you to download it and try it. I'm not sure you'll... Well, I'll leave you to decide, but just download it and try it. Our revenue streams, mainly subscription based for the app. We're looking on the left hand side, B2B and B2C subscriptions. It's a tiered package for them both. And then outside of the app space, we do corporate packages, wellbeing days, you know, for schools, corporates. So we've had £100,000 grant. Thank you. We've had £100,000 grant from the Liverpool City Council, which has been great because we've retained all of our equity, and we've managed to deliver on everything that we've needed to on the roadmap that we applied for within that grant. We've been recognised recently as a tech climber within the north of England, which is fantastic. And this is the roadmap which I just mentioned. So everything that we put to it was the Future Innovation Fund, where we got the £100,000 grant. Up until the end of May, we've delivered on everything that we said we would. So, you know, our team is highly effective. We can deliver on what we say. And that is due to, you know, we've got doctors on board, and the CTO himself has worked for major global brands such as IBM, and our advisors are fantastic and advise on a UK and European level. So now we look for £150,000 of SEIS to get product market fit and scale. I'll leave you with this. What LinkedIn is to your profession is what life is to your health. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for the introduction, and while I wait for some questions to come in, just directly one question. If I start to use it, what does it cost me as a private person?
The user or the retailer? Sorry.
No, as a user. I download it.
So it's free. It's a freemium-based subscription model. So you can use limited access of the platform for free. If you want to have all of the features, it's £1 per month. So it's very cheap.
Okay. And then, so you most likely make most of your business from the B2B subscriptions. So you then, is it kind of also a revenue share basis, or is it a fixed fee, or how do you work with?
So depending on how many features the retailer wants as well, you know, there's so many things that we can offer them. They get the retail space for free, so they would be listed on the platform for free. That allowed, so we vet them, we take them, we onboard them, really creating that healthy ecosystem. But that allows us to get lots of retailers on board straight away, and then they realize the value in the platform. We then offer them a tiered package. So if they want products and services listings, that costs them a certain amount, and then if they want to upload content or to videos, then that's another amount. And then if they want to put discounts on top of that, you know, there's lots of different things that we can offer them, including weekly, monthly reports, even advertising, and then making cash off the videos that they post as well. So there's many revenue streams within there already built.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, also in the interest of time, anything you would still like to bring out? Otherwise,
yeah, I mean, just building on that, on the end user perspective, we've been targeting corporates. You know, there's a big push. I'm not sure you're across Europe, but in the UK, there's a legal obligation now for big corporates to spend 2% of their budgets on corporate social responsibility, or CSR for short, and a lot of that budget is being spent on well-being for their staff. It's really at the forefront of everybody's minds. So what we see actually in the UK is that large proportions of their CSR budgets go unspent, and 62% actually of that budget year on year doesn't get spent. I think it's rolled on to the next year. So, you know, if it's a big corporate, say if they've got a CSR budget of £1 million, you can already see how much money is being rolled over year to year, and we're just tapping into those CSR budgets, and they pay for the end user subscription costs. So that's how we've managed to get 15,000 people on the platform already, and it's a massively scalable way of getting big users on board. You know, it's our target market. They're stressed out individuals who are hardworking and very health conscious. So it's been a win-win for us, that one.
Yeah. So thank you. And then any big corporate listening in here, I guess, should take contact with you if they want to do something good for their employees.
Thank you, Marcus. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Yes, and then we move on to the last startup for the first round of the pitch session, which will be Drill Surgeries. And I have to say, I got like short pitches and intro text on the startups, and it said Drill Surgeries is a vibrant startup, which I think is a very interesting and funny description. And what makes them so vibrant, and also what, for example, is intramedullary nailing surgeries, I guess we will now learn from the founder, Moises Barbera Ramos.
Thanks a lot for the introduction, Marcus. And so, well, to start the presentation.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Drill Surgeries, a startup working to improve healthcare through technology. And to do so, we move one step at a time. First, focusing on a common type of surgery, intramedullary nailing surgeries, aimed at assisting the welding of broken bones in femur, tibia, or humerus. This surgery is performed over 200 times a year per hospital in the UK, and of course, so around the world. In this surgery, what is known as an intramedullary nail or rod is inserted inside the patient's bone to assist on the welding. Well, the issue is that the current method relies heavily on X-rays, and there is an excess of radiation shot at patients and surgeons. Now, the technique used is a trial and error method, which proves to be inaccurate and time-consuming, meaning there are risks derived from blood loss and long-acting anesthetics. All of this is happening right now in a country spending close to £50 million a year in these surgeries alone, around £6,000 per patient, where most of the amount comes from room charges, since patients need to spend around 10 to 15 days at hospitals post-operation. Our solution, though, already shows potential to reduce hospital admissions as it ensures fewer risks during the operation. And if this is true for the UK, and our research goes further than just this country, it is also true for our target market, every hospital in the world, because we all know someone, somewhere, who broke their leg or arm at some point of their lives. In over 2 years of research and development, we have seen and spoken with dozens of doctors from Spain, the UK, Switzerland, Australia, etc., that keep preferring the freehand or trial and error techniques on these surgeries rather than relying on mechanical or electromagnetic guiding systems offered by competitors, which are coined as inaccurate. All of them, though, showed an inclination to welcome a new medical device for this surgery. And that is what Drill Surgeries provides, a solution built with the constant input from surgeons and for surgeons. Making use of the latest technologies, Our prototype implements augmented reality and tracking algorithms, offering real-time and 360 degrees guidance without the need of radiation, reducing then operating time and risks caused by the more traditional approach. And we are not only offering safer and faster surgeries, but also with fewer risks, patients stay less time in hospitals, and hence we can also reduce cost per patient, which at 200 surgeries per hospital per year amounts to a substantial cost. The team making this happen today includes myself, starting the project when I was heavily involved on world-class physics research in Switzerland, a chief medical officer that has performed this surgery for over 10 years, and Henry, an aerospace engineer that led the development of the fully working prototype that is already showcasing promising results. In the past 2 years, we have received support for the value of over £30,000 from several organizations and institutions. We have participated in startup incubators and startup competitions, from which we include Santander X for the Entrepreneur of the Year awards, where I will personally be pitching at the quarterfinals in Wembley Stadium this October. And we are now looking to raise our first formal round of investment for £150,000 to grow our team, improve the software side of the prototype to satisfy the levels of accuracy we strive for, and start testing the device by Q4 2021 or Q1 2022 on bodies at hospitals we are already in conversations with. Thanks a lot for your time, everybody. Thank you.
And again, while I wait for the incoming questions here next to me, where else would you, or no, let's start first from what is actually the implementation cost for hospitals? So what do they need to get, and basically also what's the routines they need to change?
Well, that's a really good question. Thank you. And that's something we have been working on at the core of our hearts since we started 2.5 years ago. Most of the new medical devices that implement the latest technologies, such augmented reality, are game changers, of course, but they are also so far away from the techniques and methods the current surgeons already know that they require a long learning curve, which make them not so appealing for the end user, the doctor. That's why we work with advisors and surgeons and nurses so that our device from day one has been tailored to what the surgeon will use in the end, meaning that at the moment they use either a marker or a surgical knife to perform the trial and error method, which takes a long amount of radiation and takes many trials, minutes, and even hours. Well, the beauty of our device is that now they can use a device similar to the marker they're already used to using, but instead of looking for the right spot through radiation, they can simply hold it, and a nice camera and a series of sensors will guide the surgeon to the right spot in mere minutes. Using a device that's tailored to something that surgeons are already comfortable with, we can reduce the learning curve and make this more appealing for them. And when it comes for the adoption at hospitals, since we work with surgeons to develop this device, following the requisites and what they actually need, they will be the ones testing the products firsthand as we have them ready, because they've been working on this with us for years, making our case to then introduce this into hospitals more appealing as we go through the commissioning steps. The device can be sold to the hospital in a one-time payment for the physical device they can then reutilize, plus a cost for the software side, which comes in monthly subscription payments, so that we can provide the best support possible. technology is something that changes day by day, and we want to provide the most accurate and most up-to-date software possible month by month.
Okay, thanks for the answer. And one more question: where do you move from here then? Once you have achieved those type of surgeries, what else do you envision used for, or you would like to develop?
Definitely. Well, augmented reality is a growing industry, especially in the healthcare sector. In the healthcare sector, as it is expected to reach a 28% CAGR rating by 2025, and it's already valued at $4.2 billion in the US by 2022. The beauty of this is that the players in augmented reality applied to orthopedic or trauma surgeries or big multinational companies like Microsoft that have their consumer-oriented products like the HoloLens, and then they implement new activities, new applications that can serve the normal consumer as well as the healthcare expert. Those type of devices are not tailored for what the surgeon actually needs, which is a personalized device to cover their needs. What we want to be is to, as I said at the beginning, move one step at a time and go from reducing radiation at hospitals through intramedullary nailing surgeries to then be able to use this surgery to reduce radiation in many other surgeries. This way, we not only make them safer for patients and surgeons, we make this faster. We provide more information to the surgeon, we guide them, and we can reduce cost. At the moment, in intramedullary nailing surgeries, in years to come, in hip, back surgeries, knee surgeries, as we have already started exploring, and wherever the right takes us.
Yeah, thank you very much. And then also good luck with the ride onwards. And yeah.
Thanks a lot, Marcus.
If people want to learn more about the company, they can, of course, reach out to you.
Please do. Thank you.
Thanks. And with this, we finished the first batch of startups.